All right, grace and peace to the body that is the church. Tonight's video is going to be very quick. Basically, I'm going to be just cataloging what has interacted, the conversation that Eric Folks 1503 and myself have had. He's kind of gone silent the past 2 days, and I had a feeling this would happen. But when this happens, usually with SDAs, it means they're not going to actually follow through with what they said. Now, there could be he's just not by a computer or by a phone that often. And we did plan for a Saturday conversation, a Sabbath conversation around 3 p.m. my time. So I will be doing a live stream at a time for that. And hopefully he follows through and actually comes on and has a conversation about Daniel 8. I told him I want to talk about Daniel 8. And if the conversation goes well, we can talk about the scapegoat, and then he can pick a subject, probably will be Sabbath, I'd assume, and the law of God. But I want to kind of walk through what has been said so far, so that way, if he claims something about what was said, or forgets, or backs out for whatever reason, then at the very least, I have it documented here. Now let me try to find the conversation real quick. I want to thank everybody who tunes in to this live. I know your time is very important, so I appreciate that you spend some of it here. So this was on an Answering Adventist or Adventism video, and my initial comment was this one. Answering Adventism came on the scene and turned the heat up on Adventism like no one else has done to date. I think they are worried. And that is a factual statement. I don't care if you're an Adventist or not. When I came out of the Adventist movement some, I don't even remember, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, like 12 years, there was not a lot of content addressing Adventism, and the stuff that it was, it was largely against the Sabbath keeping. And I think that's kind of like a side issue. I don't really think that's really that big of an issue, to be honest, other than the part of legalism that is linked with Sabbath keeping in Adventism. Most of the websites also approach this from a dispensational position, and I was not a dispensationalist, and I am not right now as well. So there's a lot of content that was lacking, and there was a need for a website and a YouTube channel like Answering Adventism to come out. And so when he came on the scene, man, I am not surprised one bit that it blew up. The church needed this. And so it was pretty epic to see. There's very few good websites and places that I found that actually answered the issues in Adventism pretty well. There was not many back in the day. You kind of had to do your own research, and you had to like study on your own. And so this is the conversation. This is the video I'll show you real quick. That's the video. Damage Control SDA Church President calls out Answering Adventism. It was a good video. I enjoyed it. Let me get back here. So let's go to where it starts. So whenever somebody addresses me, or if I find what they have to say, like they're strong in their faith of Adventism, I'll always ask them this kind of question. Or that's somebody else. I said, would you like to defend that in a live discussion between you and I? And the reason why I do this and I don't interact much in the comment section is that comment section debates end up going nowhere, and they really don't benefit anybody or much people. And a big issue is that person you're talking with can just ignore what you have said and not actually deal with anything and just keep talking the points they want to talk. But this was to this individual. He said, only one church delivers the real truth of God, only the SDA Church and the Remnant Church only. Sunday is mark of Satan, the mark of the Pope, Satan, Catholic Church. And so I challenged him to defend this in a live discussion. He never responded, as you guys can see. And I made the comment here, most all SDA theology revolves around 1844, and this is very true right here. I made a community post a while ago that said, that asked the hypothetical question for you to kind of think about. Can and I forget exactly which doctrines I mentioned, but basically it went like this: Can you hold to say annihilationism and not be an SDA? The answer is obviously yes, you can. Can you hold to Sabbath keeping and not being an SDA? The answer is obviously yes. Neither of those are uniquely Adventist things, and they don't make you an Adventist. Then I ask, can you believe in the investigative judgment of 1844 and not being Adventist? The answer is obviously no. Can you hold to Ellen G. White having the spirit of prophecy and her words being inspired and her being a prophetess and not being Adventist? The answer is obviously no, you cannot. So there are certain things that are crucial and central when addressing the Adventist faith. And in my opinion, 1844, which means ultimately Daniel chapter 8, is very crucial to hammer down and to address with any new Adventist you have not talked to yet. It's kind of the central pillar. And actually, Ellen G. White does say that it is the central pillar of their faith, because she obviously recognized that everything revolves around that. So if an Adventist wants to talk to you and wants to talk about Sabbath, I mean, you're more than welcome to engage in that conversation. But I think it will be won't be that fruitful. Rather than a conversation on Daniel 8 in 1844 will be a lot more fruitful, in my personal opinion. So I asked him, would you be willing to defend this in a live conversation between you and I? We will start with Daniel 8 and go from there. Eric Folks, 1503, then said oh no, yeah, he's talking to somebody else here. I said, are you willing to defend this in a live conversation? He said, absolutely, as long as you play fair and give me an outline of the topics you will want to discuss and the questions. No surprises. Now, I never did this because I don't have specific questions. What I ended up doing was I made a post, told him my position on Daniel chapter 8 and on the scapegoat if it happened to go that route. So that way he can just have an idea of where I'm coming from. And he can also listen to my videos that I've talked about this in great detail. I said, right on, sounds good. Let's start with this. Let's start with, when can this happen? I'm on Pacific Standard Time. On the weekends, I'm available, or weekdays, I'm available after 9. Weekends, I can do during the day, but we'll have to plan ahead. What days and times are you available? He said, how about next week? So this was 5 days ago, as you can see. I said, okay, what times are you available during the weekend? I would like to start with Daniel 8 and the 2300, as that is central to all of Adventism. That will naturally flow into Daniel 9 and probably chapter 11 as well. If we have time, then we can go to the scapegoat doctrine. He says, I will need you to send me your questions on each topic so I have a fair chance to prepare. No surprises. Do you agree to that? And I've been trying to leave you my email here, but Miles keeps on deleting my comments. Now, Miles is probably not following our conversation on his video, as he has, I don't know, 100 videos. And I'm sure on each video he gets comments every day. Or on dozens of videos, he gets comments every day. So I highly doubt he's following our conversation and saying, oh man, I don't want Sola Scriptura 21 to talk to an Adventist in a live discussion, so I'm going to delete Eric Folks' email so he can't have this conversation. Rather, what's probably happening is that YouTube is not working properly. I have this issue all the time. I can't see my comments sometime. I have to go up to the comment settings and go from newest first to top comments or vice versa. And usually I can find them eventually. There have been times where I have not been able to see my comments, and there are certain YouTubers I have found that Veckel does not see my comments, or maybe ignores them, but a lot of times does not see my comments. They don't show up for him. And there's other YouTubers that happens to. So it was probably YouTube and not Miles. He said probably next Saturday around 4 p.m. or Sunday at 3 p.m. So that's the date. I will set the live stream for that time. I will tag him in the video. I'll also make a community post linking this video, so that way hopefully he can see it and listen to it, and then get the notification when it comes up. And I will show, I have tried to tag him in multiple community posts to get his attention over there instead of talking here on the video. I said YouTube will do that, if probably not Miles. It happens to me on my channel, on my own channel before. Make a community post on your page and tag me. I tried to get him to do it on his page. There are certain people who probably not actively, but will, if they do see a STA of my community page that I'm talking to, I'm trying to set up a live conversation with, they will try to derail that. Does that happen every time? I don't know, but it has happened before, I'm pretty sure. I said, I have not gotten any notification from you. Have you made a community post yet? Do you need me to? So that was a day after I said that, trying to keep him engaged so that way he'll follow through, because what's going through my head during this whole time is he wants to back out already. He doesn't want to follow through with this. So if I kind of keep the pressure on lightly, he'll just end up following through, and we'll have a conversation. We'll have a good conversation. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be hostile. I'm going to be straight to the point. I'm going to let him talk, make his points, and all that good stuff. He says, I have never sent notifications over YouTube before. Do you agree to send me a list of your questions prior to discussions? That's one more thing I ask. If the discussion will take place, I need you to read 1844 Made Simple by Clifford Goldstein, which I do actually own this book. I own 1844 Made Simple by Clifford Goldstein. He tells me where I can download it, but he says, Miles keeps deleting the comments, so go take it out with him. Send me your notification, but I need you to send me a list of your questions. Do you agree? Which I don't have a list of questions. It's just, and I'll explain to him what I mean in a bit. But I said, I tagged you in a community post about a day ago on my page. If you have yet, let me know if you have yet to see, it have yet to see you comment. Oh, okay, I have yet to see you comment. Man, that's what happens when you make comments from the cell phone tiny little keyboard there. Did you get the notification? He said, no, I'll check my laptop later at home. One more thing, my friend, I need you to read the short book. And he mentions the same book again. And I said, I own the book. And then I also recommended that if he's going to do this in the future, this is what I would recommend. I said, I think Ellen G. White's chapter on the investigative judgment, which is properly understood in the sanctuary type and anti-type, is better as a recommendation. Kind of showing him that I understand already generally what the investigative judgment is and how it's properly understood. I said, we may not get into details about the investigative judgment. So I want the conversation more to focus, at least at the start, on the 2300 specifically. Because if the 2300 are not years, then there is no 1844. 1844 is irrelevant. There is no prophecy besides the 2300 that they can stretch to 1844. Not a single one. That's the only one that they can misuse to stretch to 1844. So if that is taken out, then there is no 1844. I said, we may just stay in the book of Daniel. It's hard to say how long we will talk. Maybe we will enjoy the conversation and go for a while. If you didn't get notification, then just go on my page and look at the community tab. The post where I tagged you will be the top post. So I'm even telling him how to get there, where to go. Go to my page, which I'm sure he knows how to do that. I mean, I think everybody knows how to do that. You click on my icon right here, and then you go to my community tab, which is, I think everybody knows how to do that. When you go to a channel, you have videos, live streams, community posts, info. He said, well, now I'm impressed. You have done fair homework. This should be a good conversation. So looks like he's looking forward to actually having the conversation now. I'll look for your post. Have a great day. This is 2 days ago. Okay, 2 days ago. And I said, I mentioned my position on Daniel 8 in the community post that I made for you, and I want him to see that so that way he's aware and knows that where I'm coming from. He said, sorry, I'm not used to community posting on YouTube. I don't see your posts. Is there any other way to make content? So I don't know where the disconnect is coming in, because I'm trying to explain to him that I'm tagging him in a community post so he'll get the notification. I mentioned that earlier. And I mean, it's possible he doesn't know any of this, but how does he get around on YouTube? How did he find answering adventism and goes to his videos if he doesn't understand YouTube at all? It's almost as if and he may not be, but it's almost as if he's playing dumb at this point. Because, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me, but it's possible he is ignorant on all this and doesn't know any of it. So I explain again, go to my YouTube page. From there, click on my community tab. You will see it at the first as the first post. I said, click on my, and I was doing this to tell him another way on how to do it. I said, click on my avatar twice. So you click it, and then it shows a bigger one. You click it one more time, and then go to the community tab. And I messaged him again. Did you figure it out? And you notice after 2 days ago, he has not commented. It's been a whole day, probably almost 2 days. So that is the whole conversation. Now, so you see, if he watches this, these are the tabs I'm talking about. There's home, videos, shorts, live, playlists, and community. The community tab is what I was telling you to click on, Eric. If you click on that, you will then scroll down. You'll see these posts, and there you are. There's the most recent post where I tagged you. I said, let me know if you can see if you got the notification from the post I tagged you in. And here is the first post that I made tagging you. I said, we will talk here. In other words, have the conversation here instead of on Miles's video. Open that up. I make 2 comments to start the conversation, get it rolling. I said, let's discuss the details here. Comment so I know you got the notification. Now, see, I have to go sort by to see more comments sometimes. So I'll click that. And sometimes that helps me see comments that are hidden or whatever has happened to them. I said, not sure if you're getting the notification. And I tagged him again. I said, my position on Daniel 8 refers to Antiochus. My position on the scapegoat is that Jesus is the scapegoat. I do not have specific questions in mind. They will flow from the conversation. I object to the 2300 being years, and I object to the little horn being the same as chapter 7's little horn, because that's what they teach. He has yet to comment on any of those or respond to any of those comments. And then Brother Adrian helped me out because he said there's a possibility that he's not getting notifications from a community tab. And so I tagged him in this community post to see if he would get the notification. He confirmed that he did. So therefore, with 2 community post tags, most likely Eric Folks 1503 got at least one of them. Now he has no information. He joined 2015. He has one subscriber, which is me. I subscribed to him. And in order to help him as well, if he saw that, he then may want to click on my page and go from there. But he has yet to even do that. Now there's still a chance he may follow through. He may just be silent for now because he's busy with life. I can understand that 100%. Recently, just had 2 leaks in my water pipes that I've had to fix. One underneath my house, which is not fun. I don't enjoy going underneath the house, and then one in the wall. I had to fix that. So I understand things come up. It's not like it's that important to come on YouTube and tell somebody you don't know that, oh, well, I got to take care of the business here at my house or in my town somewhere or whatever. And so I'm busy. I'm not going to respond. It's just you do your thing and you don't respond. So it could be that as well too. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and it may be that. But if I don't hear from him by Saturday, or if he does not join by Saturday, then I'm going to assume that it wasn't just because he was busy, but that he decided to back out of the conversation and decided not to even say anything to me, which I find cowardly. What you should do if you don't want to have the conversation, Eric, is just, if that is the case, then just come and tell me. I won't say another word to you. I mean, unless I see you in another like live stream, like on Miles's live stream or in a comment section, and you're boasting of how true Adventism is, then I will address you again. But I won't really bring this up much. It won't be a big deal to me. So with that being said, this is going to be the end of the video. I do appreciate everybody who tuned in. Grace and peace to all of you. Grace and peace to you, brother Chris. It's been a long time. I hope you and your family are doing well. I heard that. I remember you telling me the move was good, so I'm glad to hear that. Kevin, grace and peace to you, brother. It's good to see you. I agree because all the info I tried looking up before I decided to visit Seventh-day Adventist Church was very weak, which is like, yeah, it's honestly a lot of talking points that I hear Adventists bring up in comments, whether on videos or in live stream, is I've heard most of those talking points through a Revelation Daniel seminar, or through a prophecy study, or through a sermon. I've heard most of the talking points. So yeah, it's grace and peace to you, Calvi. It's good to see you. Hope you are doing well and your family as well. I think Miles does a good job at pointing out huge. Oh yeah, he's excellent, amazing, absolutely phenomenal. I would agree with you 100%. He's very meticulous with that. Way more than I could ever be. I'm so in and out, and I have such a busy life and other priorities. I can never do what he does. He amazing. If you want to have a very successful channel, copy his platform. It, it does really well. But I would say find a topic that is not discussed that much, because you'll be the new upcoming person who is talking about that topic, and your channel will probably blow up a lot. And the only videos I can find against SDA very weak. Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. Actually, they were, man. I have PTSD. Not really joking, but there was the internet was almost barren with apologetics against the Adventist faith. It was, well, what's his name? Oh, Walter Martin said that they are not a cult, so therefore it's not probably that's probably what it was. Is Walter Martin said what he said about the SDA Church, and so therefore there was not a big focus or need in a lot of people's minds to have to focus on Adventism. Rather, the J Dubs, the Mormons, the Baha'i, Scientology, those need to be focused on more, because they are actual cults. So Walter Martin actually did a disservice in that particular. But I think that it's been many years, but there was evidence that showed that at the end of his life, he realized that he was being lied to, manipulated by the SDA Church, and he was probably going to change his position on Adventism being a cult. And if he was still alive, I have a feeling he would have changed that position. But yeah, a lot of the websites were just like dispensational, which it is what it is, but that's not where I'm coming from. But they weren't really that strong from that position against the SD, because they didn't seem to fully understand their eschatology and how central it is to their faith. And like you said, the arguments against the Sabbath were kind of meh. They weren't that great. They're okay. Some were okay, but we make a good point. They'll claim it has already been answered if you ask where the answer they felt. Yeah, it's like I said, it's easy to do that in comment sections, right? If they are too selfish, if they're too selfish and self-righteous to see the problem with their views, they aren't going to care about correction. They're blind. Yeah. I mean, that's true. That is true. Pride is a big deal, man. I have suffered from pride in the past. So I can definitely understand the pride in a very literal way clouds the mind and the eyes. That's no doubt. Grace and peace to you, Ryan. It's good to see you. Pray you are doing well. You and your family as well. Just realized I said well 3 times. Walter Martin's book is why I decided to try the SDA Church, because Sabbath keeping church I wanted. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. A lot of your beliefs are very similar to the Adventist faith. So yeah, it definitely would have been a good match for you if they didn't have the prophetess issue and the 1844 issue. Like I said, there was a lack of material exposing, and probably because Walter. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, probably what it was. All right, guys. Grace, peace, to everybody. I thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day or your night. God bless.